Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to the channel. Today is an exciting day. It's the day that EXO has joined with Hubsan and released their two brand new drones, the Blackhawk2 Pro and the Mini Pro. And I'll review this in a different day, but today it's all about the Blackhawk2 Pro. Who is EXO? Well, they're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And like I said, they joined with Hubsan, and Hubsan is one of the best drone manufacturers in the world. And their first drone they've produced together is this Blackhawk2 Pro. So why is it important that they're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah? Because they fall under US guidelines. Guys, the US government doesn't care if drones are made in China. They just care if the company is based in China and has to share all their data. I don't want to get real political, but since they're based in the United States, they follow US guidelines and all your data is safe. So that's really important. Also, being based in the United States, their customer service is top notch. Guys, I'm having so much trouble with DJI. I pre-ordered my Mini. It was supposed to be here weeks ago, and now it doesn't get shipped off for another 10 days. I think I'm going to cancel it. The main thing I'm having problems with is these three drones. My Air 2, Air 2S, and Mini 2 have some problems, and I can't get DJI to work with me on it. Guys, I called EXO, and they answered the phone, and it's someone who's very polite. They're very passionate about drones, and they want to build a community of enthusiasts that want drones, but they want them at a really good value. Guys, my channel is mainly about budget drones and beginner drones. So now there's a drone priced as a budget drone, but it's not a budget drone. Guys, this thing is $799 and it checks all the boxes. It comes with this really nice carrying case, Flymore package, 3 batteries, a great remote, a fantastic app, multiple charging hub. And on the drone, it's got brushless motors, a 3-axis gimbal, obstacle avoidance, front, rear, and bottom, a really nice light on the back, optical flow sensor. It's a GPS drone. It's not a Wi-Fi drone, so it hooks up to GONASS on the satellites, and it can probably fly for 4 or 5 miles. I'm not one of those guys that do long-range tests because they're illegal. It's an intelligent battery. One thing I like about it a lot is the gimbal. Kind of reminds me of the original Air, how it's covered. Most drones are like their Mini, how the gimbal's so exposed. I mean, especially as a beginner, if you crash the drone, it's very unlikely you're going to damage it, because that's one of the first things that break on a drone is when you fly it and you crash it and then you knock the camera off and then the drone's kind of worthless. Guys, I'm really excited about this drone because of all the flight features of it. It has everything that you want. It's got the follow me that works really good. It's got the orbit mode, which is my favorite, but it's got something different in orbit mode. You can speed it up, slow it down, zoom in, zoom out while you're orbiting. I haven't seen that before. It's got waypoints, all that. It's got the map. The app just works fantastic. So today I'm going to review the drone, go over the flight characteristics of it and all of the flight features of it that I just mentioned. In part 2, I'll go deep into the app. But guys, this drone should cost way more than $799. So I mean, if you've been holding out thinking about getting a good drone at a good price, you can't go wrong with this one. Great drone, customer service, based in the US. Let's go put her up in the air. All right, so I'm a roofing contractor, and my neighbor across the fairway from me is getting their house roofed, so we're going to go over there and check out his crew and see how they're doing. That's going to be our mission today. Let me first of all say I just got this about a week ago, and if I get a little cheap drone, it's pretty easy to make a review on it, but when I get a drone like this, I really want to put it through the paces. So I ran about 10 batteries through it to really understand the drone, because each one has its own quirkiness and things I do and dislike about it. But each time I fly this drone, the more I like it, the more solid it is. A couple things, you can't film by holding the drone in your hand. It'll only start filming once it takes off. And the obstacle avoidance doesn't work as soon as you take off, but there's a big red circle that reminds you, and it tells you to turn on obstacle avoidance. I wish I had another week to edit this video. I've only had the drone a week. Right now I'd normally be showing like a box-in-box picture, but I wanted to show the whole screen with this camera. It's amazing. Look at that horizon. Guys, it's really windy, and I'll show you the zoom feature. I'm pretty sure it's just a digital zoom. It's not an optical zoom, so it's just kind of spreading the picture. But as I do, you'll see these trees moving around here. Look how windy it is. I mean, it's really windy. It's definitely a 4K camera. Lots of times the cheaper drones, they call them 4K cameras, but they're not. But man, this thing is really good. So it's a 1/1/3 inch sensor, and it's a 48 megapixel camera. And right here I'm shooting in 30 frames per second. And I have the auto set for the ISO and the shutter speed. but you can also do everything manual, and you can also adjust it on the fly. So look at this pan when I'm going up with the camera. The gimbal is really solid. Now when I do turn to the right here, you will see some shakiness, but that's because it's really windy. I think any drone right now, other than like an Inspire that's having the camera hang down, would still have this shakiness. So is there better drones out there with better cameras? Yeah, but nothing in this price point. At $800 with the Flymore package, this is an incredible deal to have a camera that has this color saturation right off the bat. All right, so now we're gonna try follow me, and then we're gonna try, so we're gonna hit, well, first of all, I'm gonna take off. And take off. Are you sure? Yes. Go up. So anytime I take a drone off, I like to go up to about 15 feet to get the point set for the return to home. As you can see, it is forbidden to take pictures while you are on the ground. And right here,
no obstacle avoidance mode. Please fly with caution.
So you're gonna get that every time you take off. So all you gotta do is press that little red circle, and then obstacle avoidance is turned on, and you gotta do that every time. It does remind you, so I hit point of interest orbit, and you hit execute immediately. And at first I didn't think it worked really well, but the higher you go and the further you are away from you, then it executes much better. It doesn't work if it's within like 15, 20 meters. But see that orbit speed? That's new. I really like that. And if you see, it shows you time per orbit. So right now it's at 1:53, and you can hit pause, and you can also hide it or reset the parameters right there. So now that I've slid it over, now you see the time per orbit is 36 seconds. I mean, that's really neat. You see the stop button up there, and you can also zoom in and out while it's doing the orbit mode. And the orbit mode is my favorite feature. I wish I had time to show a hyperlapse. When I compare the two drones, when I compare this one to the Mini Pro, I'll go more in depth on this. And also, I show how the app works in part 2. So if you want to see how all this works, be sure and watch part 2. I'm just showing you how well it all works. So if you're new to drones, or this is your first drone, learn the orientation of the drone before you start exploring into the different flight features like this, because it's important that you know how the drone flies, how it stops, how it turns, and then start diving into all the features. I know it's like getting a Christmas present, you want to open it and get right to it, but to be safe, be sure you know how it works. Also, if you're going from a Wi-Fi drone to a GPS drone and you don't understand how to calibrate the compass, that's very important. The reason why is if you get in your car and your car starts moving with the GPS, it doesn't know what's the front and back until you drive it like a half a block, and then you got to turn around and go back. Well, you can't have that happen on a drone. So it's real important that when the drone takes off, the GPS knows what's the front and the back and where the drone is located. Another thing too I really like about this one is if you open the maps, you can hold down on a spot and reset your return to home. When you hit return to home, it's going to return to home where it took off, not where you're at. But you can change that. So if you change locations and you're afraid the battery may run out, or you lose orientation of the drone and you want it to come to a certain spot, open your maps up and press down on a new spot on the map, and then that'll reset the return to home. Also look around you, make sure that your return to home is set correctly, higher than everything else around you. If you don't do that and you've got it set at 50 meters and you got a 60-meter tree, well, guess what? If there's little branches hanging out, it's going to hit them. So be real careful with that. The only drone I trust out there that doesn't hit the little branches is the Skydio 2. So now we're going to do a Waypoints mission. There's two ways to do it. You can have a waypoint memory where you pre-program it, or you can plan it on the fly. So when you open up the map, you see draw, and you can either select it to be a straight line or dots. And here I'm selecting dots, and I'm doing a little mission, and then or you can do point of interest and just touch spots. And then you hit submit, and it will warn you that you need to keep it above the ground more than 5 meters during the flight, or it could hit something. And then when you submit, the drone takes off and flies in those directions. Man, look at that tree, how windy it is. Waypoint missions are really nice, especially if you want to like film a golf course or a ranch. You can just draw where you want the drone to go, and you can mess with the angle of the camera going up and down and the zoom in and out, and get some really nice shots without having to worry about controlling the drone. And you can still be in line of sight, or actually have a observer. As you see the little green arrow up there, it shows that it's in a waypoint mission, and you have the stop button. You can stop it at any time. I'm not going to show you the whole mission for time's sake, but it did really good. So it's going to go to those points and turn. And there's all kinds of features that you could use this for. It's really nice to have on a drone. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you learn to use it, you'll have a lot of fun with it. The only problem I'm having is wrapping my head around that I'm showing you all these features on a drone that's $800 with the Flymore package. This is really cool that you can get an American-based company that can produce a drone that has all these features for $800 with 3 batteries and really good customer service. And this is the camera, again, showing through the app. If you take the SD card out and load it in, this is at 1080 or maybe even 720. I love that it shows you the speed, the height. I got 10 satellites. If you look up to the top, I'm at 66% on my battery. And now the remote control that I'll show you in part 2, it actually shows you the yaw of the drone. So when you take off, if you point it directly away from you, if you lose satellites or orientation of the drone, you can put it at 180, which means it's coming straight back at you, and you can bring the drone back. So see the 3 bars on the top and on the bottom? That bottom one's starting to turn red because I'm starting to land and it'll beep at you, which is really nice. I missed the mat because I'm holding the GoPro. So next I'm going to show the follow me mode. And I'm just going to show me walking around. When I compare the 2 drones, I will get on my motorcycle, and also my helper has a little wheel, and we'll do more in-depth on the follow me and compare the 2, the Mini Pro and the Blackhawk2 Pro. I'll also show the Hyperlapse on that video. So if I'd have read the instructions, I would have realized that it's not going to work good if it's at 6 meters off the ground and a distance of 4 meters. But who wants to read the instructions, right? You want to jump on YouTube and learn how to do it. So once I got it figured out, I really understood more of how the follow me works, because the follow me follows the remote. When you go to active track, you actually draw a circle around what you want it to follow, and it will follow that object. Like right there, I draw a circle around me and I hit go and I trace it, and then it'll start following whatever that object is. And of course, as I work with it more, then I realize my battery's running down. So I'm down to 39%. So what it does, it will go ahead and start returning
Low battery warning.
home
The drone will
automatically. You
return
can
to
hit
home soon.
cancel, and you can stop it from returning home. That's when I do the battery test. I take it all the way down to 20% and let it return. But here's something that's really neat.
Return to home.
I had to pause and do a screenshot of this. So you have the choice. It's going to return to the takeoff point, or you can have it return to the remote control, or it will land in place. But make sure you know where it's going to land when it lands in place. What if I was over that pond and I hit land in place? It would take a bath. So next we want to test the battery life. So we take it outside. I set a timer up in the garage and we take it out and fly it. During flight, we kept testing the obstacle avoidance. It worked fantastic. Wouldn't hit me, wouldn't hit the house, front, rear, or the bottom. I didn't want to really put it through the test because I got to do more testing with this drone so I can show you some more videos on it. But we ran it to 20 minutes and 51 seconds, and that was landing it at 20%. But it's 95 degrees out there, so I'm sure that had something to do with the battery life. Maybe you could have got just a little bit longer. So let's go inside for our final review. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching my review of the EXO Blackhawk2 Pro. Guys, as you can see, this is an amazing drone for the price. I think this thing's a game changer. I really do. What do I like about it? Just about everything. The brushless motors, the obstacle avoidance works. All the flight features work really good. They're based in the US. It's got multiple batteries, good flight time. It's a solid little drone. It doesn't feel like a toy. It's rock solid. So guys, what do I not like about it? Not much. I wish the camera would work when it wasn't in flight, because I know some professional photographers that with a camera as good as this, they like to walk around and do filming with the drone. So I wish they could fix that. Maybe that'll be in a firmware update or something. Is there anything else I dislike about it? I don't think so. Guys, this is an amazing drone. You could make a living with this drone, and there's not many drones out there that you could buy for $799 that have the camera that this one does and all the flight features. But the main thing I like about it is you're joining EXO. Guys, these are some amazing guys. There's only 24 people in the company, and so they're still able to get that personal one-on-one customer service. If you reach out to them, they'll answer the phone. Email them if you got a problem. Email them if you got something that you are concerned about or something that you want in the future. They listen because they want to build that community of drone enthusiasts that want a great drone at a great price. And this one fits that. Please watch part 2 where I go over the app real deep. Also, and next I'll be reviewing the EXO Mini Pro. And this is the one with obstacle avoidance. I think they have 2 different options. This one is going to be $6.50, I think, on Amazon. Guys, these aren't released yet. They get released tomorrow. And then I'll do one and I'll compare the two to see which one might be better for you. So there'll be 4 videos total. Guys, if you got something out of this, please like and subscribe. Subscribers mean everything to me on this channel. And I'll see you in the next one in part 2.